Hunter x Hunter has had its fair share of great antagonists throughout the whole entire series. And they've had everything from perverted clowns to serial bombers to princes that can see into the future and even nin-wielding ants. But one very important evil man has been completely skipped over since his introduction. And if you're an avid Hunter x Hunter fan, you probably know who I'm talking about. This pure embodiment of evil being no other than Gyro, the founder and former king of the NGO. Gyro hates the entirety of mankind, and its life's purpose is to spread evil throughout the whole entire world and inflict pain and suffering among others. And I think that he has the potential to be the final and biggest antagonist of the entire series. And I'm sure many of you have a very fuzzy memory on who Gyro is, considering the fact that his introduction was kind of jammed into the Chimera Ant arc, and it was pretty easy to miss, so that's what I'm doing in today's video, explaining Gyro. But before we get into that, I'm Hank, and I'm making this video because FN King asked me to make a video on Gyro, and I thought it was a great idea. Alright, back to talking about Hunter x Hunter. Like I said earlier, Gyro was introduced into the later portion of the Chimera Ant arc, being episode 79 of the anime and chapter 203 of the manga, I think? Yeah, that's right. Gyro's introduction shows his rough upbringing and his reason behind why he has an utter hatred for mankind as a whole. Gyro was born into a construction camp, learning to mix concrete and lay bricks before he could even talk. Gyro's only family was his father, who was a drunk and extremely abusive towards him. Gyro wasn't even allowed off his own bunk bed in his house unless he was to use the restroom. And if he disturbed his father in the slightest or annoyed him, he was getting brutally beaten. Despite his father's constant drunk outbursts and neglect, Gyro still held a godlike respect for him, even when the only thing that Gyro's father would repeat to him was, "Don't make trouble for anyone." Gyro truly believed that his father loved him, and he had this belief for two specific reasons. The first being that his father took care of him whenever he fell ill from a fever and almost died. And the second of these reasons being that Gyro's father never explicitly told Gyro to leave. These two things made Gyro extremely proud. But when Gyro was 12, he snapped after another boy made fun of his father. Gyro started a fight with the boy and was brutally beaten. While the boy was beating Gyro, he revealed to him that his father actually didn't take care of him whenever he was sick. It was actually an elderly neighbor that took care of Gyro whenever he fell sick. The boy also told Gyro that Gyro's father didn't care if Gyro lived or died. And while all this was going on, Gyro's father walked by, saw his son getting beaten, looked the other way and kept walking, completely ignoring his own son. This very moment, Gyro came to the realization that his life was insignificant in the world. This realization, paired with Gyro finding out that his father didn't actually love him and only kept him around because he made a profit off of him, caused Gyro to snap. Soon after this event, Gyro smashed in his father's skull with a hammer, took all of his money and left the camp. Gyro lost every speck of humanity that he once had, and he believed that nobody in the universe truly cared about him. He became completely driven by hatred, and his new life goal was to spread evil throughout the whole entire world. Soon after leaving the camp, Gyro developed a new drug called the D2 drug and began to spread it throughout communities. He created this drug with the sole purpose of trying to ruin as many lives as possible, and this drug quickly became infamous throughout all nations of the Hunter x Hunter world. And this was only the beginning of Gyro's broad goal to spread his evil. Quick Hunter x Hunter drug fact: you can actually see one of Gyro's hitmen selling the D2 drug outside of the room that Kite and his crew were staying at. Anyways, about 9 years after Gyro left camp, he actually ended up starting his own nation, being none other than Hunter x Hunter's Neo Green Life Autonomous Region, or the NGO. Gyro first started the territory at the age of 21, and in 9 years, it actually became a full-fledged nation. And this new nation would serve as a home base to spread his evil from. He developed an underground marketplace where he sold firearms and narcotics. And the crazy thing is that Gyro started this whole entire nation from the ground up by himself, by complete scratch, showing that Gyro doesn't really need battle strength to move up in the world. He can just use his unmatched leadership skills, charisma, and ability to inspire people to his advantage. But we cannot doubt his nin prowess in the slightest. We know that one's strength and nin usage is heavily determined by their drive and willpower and goals. And a man that supposedly has unmatched drive and determination to achieve his goals, it's pretty strong. It's probably not a stretch that he's one of the strongest nin users in the entire series. Even though we've never seen him use nin in the slightest, we can assume this. After some time of being the ruler of the NGL, when the Chimera Ant infestation arrived, Gyro was actually eaten by the queen. But contrary to popular belief, he was not actually reincarnated to be Ant King Merriam. He was rather reincarnated into a Chimera foot soldier. But this did not stop his goals in the slightest. Gyro's will was so incredibly strong that he broke free of the queen's demands and left to restart his nation, immediately after being reincarnated into a Chimera Ant. Although it's not completely confirmed, we can be pretty certain that Gyro left to go to Meteor City to rebuild his nation. This comes from the fact that some of Gyro's henchmen that were turned into Chimera Ants as well, like Welfin and Ikalgo, come to realize that Gyro was their king in a past life and are confident that he's still alive and is in Meteor City trying to rebuild his nation. And in Meteor City, Gyro will be able to restart his nation pretty fast, considering the fact that the Phantom Troop is not there, but rather they're on the Black Whale going to the Dark Continent. It's absolutely insane that this man managed to build an entire nation in 9 years. Got killed, reincarnated, and immediately left to build his nation again. Completely from scratch. Again. That pretty much covers Gyro's entire backstory, and now why I think Gyro has been set up to be Hunter x Hunter's next and final antagonist. And you might be thinking, we haven't seen this guy in over 100 chapters of the manga, why would he be the next antagonist? And I totally understand this, and with the way that Togashi the mangaka is, it's not entirely impossible that he just completely ignored Gyro and is not coming back for him. But I still think that there's a good chance that he's going to come back into the series. Let me explain why. As of right now in the series, 2 of our 4 main characters are on the Black Whale heading to the Dark Continent. Those 2 characters being Kurapika and Leorio, of course. And while this is going on, Kilo was off with Aulika doing God knows what, and Gon's at home getting caught up on his schoolwork at Whale Island. And keep in mind that Gon and Killua haven't been pictured in the manga in over 50 chapters as of now, which is pretty insane that there's 2 main characters that haven't been in the series in over 50 chapters. I'm almost 100% certain though that Gon and Killua will get back together. Only God knows how they'll get together, and if Gon will even be able to use Nin again. But when they get back together, it only makes sense for Gyro to be their next opponent. He's the only antagonist that I can think of that's been set up for Gon and Killua. This manga panel right here infers that they will inevitably meet in battle. And with any other mangaka besides Togashi writing the story, I'm 100% certain that Gyro would be the final villain. But with Togashi, you can really never know. He has a really common habit of just ignoring huge pieces that he sets up for the series. But I truly believe that Gyro would be the best possible adversary for Gon. And them facing off could potentially make a great end to Gon's character arc. It would be a battle of ideologies. We don't even know if Gon is able to use Nin anymore. We also haven't seen Gyro use Nin ever. So it's just a battle of 2 contrasting ideologies. Gon's light versus Gyro's darkness. This would allow for Gon's developed mental state after the Chimera Ant arc to be showcased, and would make a great end to Gon's character arc. And it would give a pretty proper ending to the series in my opinion. But we won't know until more manga comes out, and God knows if that'll even happen. We're on another hiatus, no manga. And with Togashi, we might never get that. So, but I've been Hank, and that was Anime's Most Evil Man Explained. And real quick, I want to thank you guys for all the support. It's just been unreal. As I'm recording this right now, I'm at 99 subscribers, and I'm about to hit 100. And my goal is at 100 before summer, and I'm about to do it before the end of this week. So please subscribe, like, comment, or don't. Watching this video is more than enough. But that's everything, I think. Bye. Right after recording that, I ended up actually hitting 100. We got Will here.
What's up, bro?
100 subscriber special with ZZ Will himself, Will the Ripper.
ZZ Will in the chat, bro.
Let's go.